What do you need to make lacto-fermented vegetables? Here is an example of the jars that can be used to make lacto-fermented vegetables. Usually wash the jars and rinse it with piping hot water, and then I let it drip dry. I don't like to wipe my jars off on the inside because then fluff gets stuck. You need a big bowl to massage the salt into your vegetables. You will also need a reliable kitchen scale. The basic ingredients that you will need to make your lacto-fermented vegetables is fresh vegetables, filtered water and salt. Make sure your water is clean and free from chemicals and that it hasn't been treated, like pH treated or went through a reverse osmosis or anything like that. Your salt. High mineral salt would be your best option. Okay, like Himalayan pink salt, pickling salt or German rock salt will also be good. But do not use sea salt as it contains mold spores and can make your ferment vulnerable to mold. Also steer clear from iodinated salt as it's not favorable for the good bacteria in the fermentation process. Organic vegetables is a good option, but it's certainly not mandatory. As fermentation vessels, mayonnaise jars or console jar in the jar can be used. The small jar inside will be acting as a weight to keep the veggies submerged underneath the brine. Any jar with a lid can be used. Plastic lids do carry preference. Metal jar lids are not useless. It can be lined with parchment paper or cling wrap. The best jar to use would be the flip-top jar. This jar allows the ferment to breathe and it keeps oxygen out all at once while the jar is still closed. This is a bottle or a jar within a jar that can be used in conjunction with a plastic bag to make a successful ferment. To keep the veggies underneath the brine, you can use weights like these cupcake holders. It works brilliantly with mayonnaise jars. Sterilized stones or river pebbles can also be used as weights. Then you also need a grater, knife, a vegetable peeler and cutting board to prepare your veggies. A kettle may also be useful to dilute your salt quickly. When I started out, I decided that I'll be very clever and drill holes into my jars and fit airlocks onto it. But I soon found out that it really wasn't necessary because these jars actually allows for air to escape and no air can enter because the pressure is higher inside than on the outside. I'll demonstrate why in a bit, but let's first have a look at the airlock. Okay, this is an airlock, and for this airlock to serve its purpose, you'll fill it till the lines with water. And this water in the airlock serves as a barrier between the ferment and the outside world, allowing the gas buildup to escape or to release and keeping the oxygen out. This is a variation of the airlock. There's different types available and you can get them from a brewing shop. After you've filled your jar with the veggies and brine, add water to the airlock and secure it through the top gasket on top of the jar. When using an airlock, make sure your brine doesn't touch the airlock. Otherwise your brine will push up through the airlock, making a mess and defying the purpose. So let's do the test and see how it works. I'm going to fill the jar with hot water. As the water evaporates, it will build up pressure, same way as the ferment will build up pressure during fermentation. So when I shake it, pressure is building up and it's actually releasing. Even by putting a loose lid on your ferment, you will manage to keep the oxygen out. The less air that gets to the ferment, the lesser the chances of developing mold. Thank you for watching. Take care and enjoy.